On a windy day, you can see how the wind blows the door away from the seal. Let's install a set of Garagetite garage door brackets and fix this problem. So this garage door is your standard 4-panel garage door, most commonly used on most residential houses. On this particular door, when applying pressure to the side to see what seals us the best, we're going to need to put the Garagetite LLC brackets on the second from the bottom panel. Let's go ahead and get started. For safety purposes, turn off the breaker if you have an overhead garage door opener for safety purposes to make sure there are no accidents during the installation. Let's double check to make sure we have the proper breaker off and the garage door opener does not function. First, we're going to decide which panel we need to install the Garagetite garage door brackets on. And we'll do that by pushing upon the panels to see which one gives us the best fit. Pushing on the third panel, it appears as though we still have a gap at the bottom. Pushing on the second panel, it looks as though we get a really nice fit from top to bottom. On the garage door. Okay, to get started, we're going to measure the second panel and see what width we have. 21 inches, which is a common garage door width on a panel. We'll go to the side of the door and measure down half that distance, which would be 10 1/2 inches from the top of that panel. We will now take our 7/16 nut driver in our double slotted bracket and attach that on our mark at 10 1/2 inches. Be sure that this bracket does not push the track in or interfere with anything on the garage door itself. Now that we have that done, let's drill a hole through our garage door rail and ream that out just a little bit. Now we'll take the one slotted bracket with the bolts supplied. Go ahead and put one of those bolts through the hole that we just drilled. That's reamed out a little bit. And then we'll take a carriage bolt and put that behind the garage door rail in the same slot, which will look something like this. Now we'll put together the bracket and wheel. We want to pull out ever so slightly to make sure that there will be tension on the hair clip to make sure it stays snug against the bracket. As you can see here, you squeeze the bracket ever so slightly to apply the hairpin, and that will hold it in place. With the bracket at a slight downward angle, this is where you will apply the wheel to the center of the bracket. And once you've found that spot and position, just in ever so slightly from the edge of the door. We will attach that with these self-tapping 7/16 screws. And yes, it's a very windy day, a perfect day for this installation. Once you have installed the wheel, now you can determine how much pressure you, the homeowner, would like to apply to your Garagetite brackets. And when you have done this, remembering to let just a little bit of downward angle on the bracket, which allows the wheel to slide in and not bump in, you're all done. And this is what an install should look like. Now we'll go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Now that we have both brackets installed, sometimes you need to use a wrench to get into those small spaces where you can't get a drill driver. But let's go ahead, make sure there are no obstructions that may interfere with the brackets on either side. And now we will pull the release lever and work the door manually. Perfect.